All right, well, yesterday we had the opportunity to sit down with former President Donald Trump for an hour and a half. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about policy. We talked about his approach to Ukraine, debt, deficit, but obviously the top of everyone's mind, how do you feel about what happened in New York City? And what will be your response should you be elected, and how would you use the Department of Justice? Here are some of Donald Trump responding to the court case in New York.
In your presidency, what they've done to you, you've got the verdict that just came through. A lot of Democrats have expressed concern that if you're elected, you're going to want revenge. And some of your supporters have said, well, you know, mutually, you know, when you come, we're just talking about the weaponization of the justice system against political opponents. Some of your supporters have said, well, the only way to stop this is mutually assured destruction, right? If you do it to us, we're going to do it to you. You've said, no, my revenge is going to be success for America. Mm-hmm. You've just had this verdict. Do you still feel the same? What's your thoughts on that?
It's a really tough question in one way, because these are bad people.
Yeah,
these
real
people
bad.
Are sick, and they do things that are so destructive. I mean, look what they did from the day I got there. And I don't know, you know, a lot of people said we have no choice but to elect Trump. Republicans, because he's the only one that can withstand this. Don't forget, if it weren't me, they'd be going after somebody else. And I know a lot of the competition, they wouldn't do so well. They wouldn't be doing so well right now. They'd be saying, "Mommy, take me home. I want to go home." This is brutal.
Right.
These are sick people. And for instance, the 51 intelligence agents, who thinks of these? And they think about it just like they say, I'm guilty of. And you know, all this information was from so many years before the election. You know, it's before the election. So
that's a great point, because so you're talking about the intel agencies. Obviously, you know, remember what Chuck Schumer said? He said, you know, if you tick off the intel agencies, they'll find a way to get you 6 ways a day. If you're elected, are you going to reform the intel community? What exactly are you going to do to make sure they don't target Americans like this?
Get the bad people
First of all,
out.
if you remember, when I took over, we had a guy named Comey. He was there. I didn't put him there. I didn't want him there. I thought he was terrible, actually. And he tried to get me, and I reversed it on him. You know, some people said he cost Hillary the election, and he didn't want to. But he was a bad guy, not a capable guy, an evil guy. They were doing things that, I mean, I won't mention here because it's so conspiratorial. I don't want to be conspiratorial. It's too nice a show. But bad guy. I fired him. Then I fired Strzok and Page and this one and that one. I got rid of that whole group of people, and we were doing great. Look, it's a very interesting question, and I say it and it sounds beautiful, right? You know, my revenge will be success, and I mean that. But it's awfully hard when you see what they've done. These people are so evil. And at the same time, the country can come together. You know, I'm saying this, but the country can come together. You know, during my term, prior to COVID, we had the most successful country we've ever had.
Yeah. I want to follow up on what Rachel asked you, though, because I hear you struggling with it. I hear you say it's a tough question, a bit unsure. You famously said regarding Hillary Clinton, lock her up. You declined to do that as president.
I beat her. It's easier when you win. And they all said lock her up. And I felt, and I could have done it, but I felt it would have been a terrible thing.
Hit the pause button. Hit the pause button.
And then this happened to me.
Hit the pause button. So you mean to tell me that this man right here could have had Hillary Clinton locked? Why? Why could he have had Hillary Clinton locked up? Because she was allegedly a criminal. Okay, so let me make sure I have. This is according to Investors Business Daily. FBI officials wanted to charge Hillary Clinton. Turns out they should have. I'm going to read you this first paragraph. The plot, as always in the Russia investigation, thickens and never thins. Now we find out, contrary to what former FBI Director James Comey said, that top FBI officials wanted to charge Hillary Clinton for criminally misusing her homebrew email server and compromising American secrets. The lies continue to unravel. So he said, no, I'm not going to do that. So what does that speaks to me as a man of character and morals that still has a moral compass. He could have had her locked up because right here it says that she should have been, but they want to flip this and put it off on him. I mean, come on, he could have had her locked up. Wow.
There was a famous I was saying this to Joy, there was a famous clip back on the Breakfast Club days when a rapper called named Birdman, for all my people that don't know about music, and there was an issue with him in the Breakfast Club, and he just showed up to the Breakfast Club and said, he said, I seen you out a couple times, partner. I could have rolled up on you and dealt with you back then, but I wanted to do it like a player. So that's Trump. He said, I could have rolled up and took you out right then.
Yeah, but I didn't do that.
Me. And so I may feel differently about it. I can't tell you, I'm not sure I can answer the question. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up. Okay, then we won. And I said pretty openly, I say, all right, come on, just relax, let's go. We got to make our country great. Yeah. And it would have been, think of it, you lock up the wife of a president of the United States.
They want to lock you up over $130,000 of an accounting thing. And
$130,000.
And a perfectly stated accounting thing.
And no money.
But, you know, people also say, can you bring the country together? And the answer is yes. Success will bring the country together, because I had it together. Mm-hmm. Before the China virus came in, I had it together. We really had it together. And it would have stayed. I think it would have stayed. Everybody was doing better. The country was doing better than it had ever done. And we're going back to those same policies and then some.
Americans have lost a lot of trust in institutions, and I think there's been a lot of discussion, especially online and especially with young people. How do we rebuild that trust in institutions? The CIA, the FBI, all those institutions.
You're right.
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things that everyone's talking about. I know you talked earlier about, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. So
hit the pause real quick. It's going to be short. So I had to look this up because I'm like, what does declassify mean?
Okay.
So declassify is to, according to Google, to remove the classification from information, a document, etc., that restricts access in terms of secrecy and confidentiality. So that means, I guess, it would be everybody could read it. We would have access to public. Well, if it's a made public document, anybody can go and still look at certain things, but certain things that we ought to know, we don't know, but they can declassify. He can declassify.
That's what he said. He said it was talked about that. He said he would declassify them, and you know what that means? 9/11 documentation will get exposed. Kennedy, the JFK documentation will get exposed. So imagine all that information get out, and imagine what could be on those records that would be life changing. And that's what makes me, I'm not going to say fearful, but that was making me concerned about his safety when he's talking about releasing stuff that the government has contained and they don't want in the public eye, and they've been containing it for years and years. That's what the stuff that makes me concerned about, his safety. Yeah.
Would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these. Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Attorney General.
Wow.
What are you? We talked about how you fix the DOJ, how you bring justice back to this country. When we talk to people, people's faith in the system is shattered.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely shattered. We've seen it in your fundraising numbers.
It should be.
So who do you choose? What kind? Do you have a name that you're top on your list?
I do have a couple.
I'm sorry, y'all.
And one in particular, but I made a lot of good choices. I got that one wrong. I was very loyal to one, because he was the first senator to endorse me. As soon as conflict came up, he ran for the hills. And actually the second one, he ran for the hills. When he heard that he was going to be impeached, they were going to impeach him. And he was like a different person. I had to get rid of him. And I would say that was the one thing. One of the truly important positions is Attorney General. And I was very disappointed at both of those Attorney Generals. Jeff Sessions was... I don't blame myself too much. He was some position in Alabama, and he wanted to be so bad. And he was the first senator to endorse me. And again, I was sort of a civilian. I didn't have a lot of people. I didn't know that many senators. And he went to a rally in Mobile. The fact is that we had 72,000 people, so it wasn't that big a shot. But he came to me and he said, I'd love to be Attorney General. And I didn't see it. And then he came 3-4 times, and I said, just out of loyalty, I did it. And he ran for the hills because it's nasty. This is a nasty business. This is a nasty world.
I believe it.
And Barr Barr was threatened. In all fairness to him, he didn't want to, you know, he was Attorney General. He was a respected guy. And they said they were going to impeach him. I understand that. I said, I got impeached twice and my numbers went up, which is unusual. I said, it's not so bad to be impeached. What are they going to impeach you? He had no idea what they were going to impeach. But he was going to be impeached. They didn't know what. They didn't know why. It's like they took me to trial. There's no crime. They were trying to devise the crime during the trial. That's how bad it was.
That's crazy.
But with Barr, and he let me down. He let me down. He let down our country. He endorsed me the other day, as you saw. Right? But he let down our country. It takes a brave person to do it. People don't want to be impeached. They don't want to be indicted by these scoundrels who are much more evil than people. I'm
Joker.
telling you, China and Russia, they're not the problem. We have a problem from within that's really bad.
see?
So
That's what Putin
he
said,
let us
though.
down. The key to really good government, where we had like Lighthizer and some of these people that were really good, it's the person that's at the top. If you get the right person, it's like magic. It's
Wow.
like in real estate,
That's
you
a
know,
shame.
you put a good super in a building, the building runs well. You put a bad one in, it doesn't. It's the same thing at a little bit slightly larger scale. But we had great people. I rebuilt the military. We did things that were amazing. One of the things that the people that watch your show should know, we defeated ISIS quickly. I was told it would take 5 years. I did it in a matter of weeks, right?
See, look at
Fast.
that.
And they did it fantastically. And I got to know the real fighting generals. There's not woke in the military. There's woke at the top. They want there to be woke. But these guys aren't meant for woke.
Are you going
See?
to fire those generals? The woke generals at the
Yeah,
top?
what yeah, I'm
Talking
Yes.
about it?
now this is a great
I
question.
would get rid of them, yeah. But see, now I know him. I didn't know him before. But, I came in. What do I know? I was a New York real estate person. But no, I'd fire them. I would fire them. You can't have woke military.
Exactly.
Come on.
I'm sorry. You don't need a man dressed up as a woman. You had a military. Because what kind of
You
what are
want-
your decisions gonna be? Where's your mind at?
Exactly.
Where's
You
your mental
want
health?
Someone that's got the backbone, the mindset, the masculinity to stand up and defend this country. It would either be them or us. So you would have somebody who has a potential of selling out or being fearful. No, not the person for the job. I'm sorry. Absolutely not. You can say whatever you want to say.
You said it so great. You need people that want to win. They want to win wars. That's what their purpose is, to win wars, not to be woke. And
Exactly.
we do have great military.
Come on.
You look at what we did. Look at I was the only one in 78 years or something. I didn't start any wars. I finished wars. I got out of Syria. I took our soldiers home. I would have moved a lot of them out of Germany. I was going to move them out of Germany. Not all of them, but I would have moved. We have 45,000. So that's like, what we do by doing that, we're giving Germany this massive shot in the arm, and then they don't treat us well on trade. But we have a great military, and there's nothing woke about it other than those top guys. I used to watch Milley sit there in Congress and talk about, he's trying to understand this and that mind. I won't get into it, but certain minds, I say, is this guy crazy? But it's one of those things. I've gotten to know a lot of the generals because of the things we did. And we had some unbelievable wins, as you know. We had some wins with terrorists, the two biggest terrorists in the world ever, I took out.
Okay.
So we have some great things planned. It's very important, the people that run the agencies, if you get the good ones, and I think I have great ones slated, but if you get the good ones, it's like magic. And we had mostly good ones.
Wow.
You think more about the bad ones. We had some bad ones too.
There's so much in there. When I'm
know.
rewatching it
I gotta
from
sit
having
and
been
watch
there
the
yesterday,
whole thing.
He's just so honest, and I think that is his strength. He's just kind of telling you what he thinks. He speaks from the heart.
And I like it, and it's consistent.
I loved how he compared, these agencies and the governments to if you have a good super in the building's going to be fine. And
You're
so
right.
he's talking about, hey, I made some mistakes with some of these people at the head of these agencies. I'm going to learn from that and pick better people. Again, really fascinating that he was very direct. I asked him if he would, declassify JFK, Epstein.
That's
and,
good. That'd be wild.
And the 9/11 files, and he
That'd
said
be
yes.
wild.
Yeah, it was interesting. A couple of places you heard it there. He said, hey, that's a tough question. What do you do at DOJ? What do I do with an attorney general Revenge will be. He said, yes, revenge will be my success. I mean that. But it's still
Success
difficult.
will be my revenge.
Excuse me. Success will be my revenge, but it's difficult. What does that really look like? I don't know. I thought your question about the lock her up vis-a-vis and his answer about how, hey, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it, and they did it to me, and that changes the view of how everything works.
I'm Steve Ducey.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that just shows you the backbone and the type of man that he is. I like how he kind of compares things in the government to business, and that's what makes him such a great candidate for the job, because he's not coming in with the twisted, tainted, selfish view of many people that, you know, are elected and they get into office. I don't know if people start off that way and that's who they are the whole time, or they get in there and then they go bad. I don't know. But the mere fact that you have another person who comes from a whole nother sector of industry that can speak and get things done that are going to benefit us as a whole. Now, is every single person going to like, once again, every single decision that they have to make? No, we don't have privy to information. We may not always agree with every single thing, but I still trust the fact that he has our best interest at heart as a whole. And just to know that he didn't have Hillary locked up, and he could have said a whole lot.
I could have pulled up on your partner, but I didn't.
Says a whole lot. You think some other presidents, if they had the opportunity, they would have done it?
You know what I think about? I'm thinking about declassifying that 9/11 file, and if that word information get out, and it'd be Cap.
I'm interested to know about the Epstein, because you know.
Hold on, wait, because you seen all them videos since 9/11. Well, not maybe around after 9/11, maybe about 2 or 3 years later, right? That's when you start getting those videos come out. Remember the guy who used to do the Zeitgeist? Remember he used to do all the videos and stuff like that about what was going on with and then later on we started getting footage. What if that come out and they get them to say, well, this was this and this wasn't what y'all thought, blah blah blah. Do you talk about a massive amount of, not the younger people, but the older people? You don't want to piss. Younger people really don't care. It's the older people that would be like, that went through it now, that were you know, that seen it and experienced it, would be like, oh my God, look how the government hid this and this was all this. What else did they do?
I mean, but there's so much information that's out there now. It's not like people are totally blind.
Not totally blind, but you ain't heard it from the horse.
But like specifically and details and all of that, I think, you know, names, you know what I'm saying? And how the whole thing went down, you know, that's something else. But it was already in the video. It was footage already in these documentaries that spoke to what was really going on.
Yeah. We're fully aware. We saw the footage. We saw all of that. But I'm saying to hear it from the file that they written from the horse's mouth to say, this was this.
Yep. And to even declassify the Epstein files,
that would
definitely
be wild.
Going to be heavy.
That would be wild.
Who had him killed? Allegedly, it would probably be in that information.
Just like JFK. Allegedly, that would be something that come right back just to payroll that they sent off.
But he said it's a lot of bad people that are working for these agencies. I don't think he should get rid of the FBI or the DOJ. I think all of the bad, corrupt, crooked people
but how you gonna drain it?
I don't know. That's their job. But I know that's the right people would be vetting them out.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be no doubt as to who's the corrupt, because like he said, he didn't know at first, but now he knows who need to go and who need to stay.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes him the greatest threat on this term, is because he got all the knowledge from that last term. He knows. So he's privy through his years. So he really knew what was going on through the Biden years. And now that makes him a great strength on these years, because look, all this information I know and have, plus research and study. They would want at all costs to stop this man. And now I see, because he know a lot. And he could change a lot because he knows all this information and he's privy. So, man, I'm really, really interested to see, and even like how things are going to appear on July 11th. Is that 11th or 27th?
Well, I saw the 11th today.
Okay.
We don't know what to expect on the 11th. Now, what I will say too, one last thing, is that this just speaks to his character. And I think I said this in the last video, or maybe even earlier in this video is that look at the kind of person that he is.
Yeah.
And that's what, I know he has faults. Every human does. I'm not talking about all that stuff that really don't concern me.
Yeah.
But when you see a man that's going through all of this, like any other human would, like he said, his other opponents, they would have just ran for the hills. They wouldn't have been able to stand for it. They would not have been able to stand for it. God has fortified this man to be able to deal with this. And I mean, it don't even look like he's sweating. I'm like, I wonder, sometimes I just be thinking certain things, and I'm like, how does he rest at night?
Probably like this.
Right. Sleep out with the things over his eyes, cold chilling. And when you've done the right thing, there's peace. And he has a sense of peace because
my question
he
is,
knows that
when you have all that business, all those billions, and you got business stuff, how do you run that, and how do you keep up with all the business stuff and the president stuff? Do you just have somebody taking over all that while you're doing this? Because
he
it's
has
like
a team, employees, staff, people in high positions who are experts at whatever this thing is in business, so they can run it. That's what they supposed to do.
I would like to. If we take a trip to New York, I want to stay in Trump Tower. I want to stay in Trump Tower and go, experience that.
I want to meet him when he get back in the White House. We don't have to go to the White House to meet President Trump.
Is it that convenient?
I don't know. How
Just
you
pull
get
up,
on the
say,
list?
hey.
How you get on the list, y'all? Tell us I can apply.
Can we come in there?
I know I got some. We know we got some squads,
come in?
some
Okay,
subscribers that that know. So put in the comment
Put a
section,
word
great
in.
people, that what
Put a
we
word
need to
in.
do to apply so we can go and meet President Trump. My mama would like that too.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there thinking what my mama would say. I voted for you the first time, Trump. They said I was crazy.
Hey.
But I did. Man, come on.
And my name is Shirley Beecher Marcel Martha from the side of the road.
Stop her.
Cadillac Jack
Please.
Cathedral.
Cut it. Shirley Temple Beecher Martha Marcel Blimster. Why my mama got 8 middle
Everybody
names?
get a name. You get a name. You get a name.
I don't know why, but when she told me that, I said, "Mama, how?
Don't put that
Who
on.
did that?
Her driver's license was so confusing for years. You didn't know who to call.
For real.
All right, man. 2024.
Be more.
Talk less.